So hi, it's Roger from Social Good Promotions. I am so thrilled to have two of my favorite people in the world on camera with me today to talk about what they do. So I've got Kelly Claudio from Sweda, and I've got Dan Nevins from the Warrior Spirit Retreat. Thank you so much for coming in and talking. I know we got some surprises to share too today, so this is going to be awesome. So Kelly, just so that we can give the folks out there paying attention to what we're talking about some context, why don't you talk about Sweda as a company? A little bit about size and scope and where you are and all that good stuff.
We're about a $91 million company. We've been in business for over 47 years. We have over 400 employees. We are celebrating a record year for 2019. This is the second record year.
All right.
So it's been astronomically beautiful, and a part of that beauty comes from this man right here in the middle of us, who's been woven into the DNA of our company.
And Dan, why don't you talk a little bit about what the objective of the Warrior Spirit Retreat is?
So Warrior Spirit Retreat actually evolved from something that I noticed in my own life and recovery as a warrior who lost both legs serving in Iraq. I found real peace on a yoga mat. And there's something about yoga in the military community that doesn't really mesh so well. And then so I created a curriculum based on yoga, mindfulness, and meditation. And what happened is I'm teaching yoga to warriors, and they're really experiencing the thing that, oh wow, this isn't what I thought it was. And then they'd come up to me after a session and say like, oh wow, that was great, and not what I thought it was, and though I'm never gonna do it again. And then so I was like, well, how can I just marry the benefits of yoga into something they are going to do again. So I created this concept of Warrior Spirit Retreat. We're going to take them on a retreat, teach them yoga, mindfulness, meditation, breathing practices, real tools to help them deal with, recover from, and hopefully, like me, heal from the invisible wounds of war. And so take it off the mat and into nature, horsemanship, and golf. Three of the things that I was passionate about. That was my yoga before I had yoga. And that's what we do is we bring warriors together for week-long retreats and sometimes even day-long retreats to sort of expose them to these tools. And I've had such great success. And it started as a passion project. Not a nonprofit. It's just me saying, I need to do this, bringing warriors together on my own dime, using my frequent flyer miles, whatever it took. And as I was seeing those results, I remember getting invited to speak at Sweda. And then that just took it to a whole new level.
And Kelly, being the leader of the sales organization that she is, I'll tell the story just a little bit since I've heard it well enough to know that Kelly often will kick off a new year with a theme, and we'll find someone to try to deliver on that theme for her team during their national sales meeting. And sure enough, it was this happenstance relationship between these two wonderful people that led to a program that has seen some pretty phenomenal results. So we wanted to give Kelly the opportunity to speak a little bit about the program that you created as a result of the relationship that came out of that hiring Dan to come speak to your team.
Well, when Dan came to speak, it was Live Bold, Live Basecamp Challenge of if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. When he spoke, we were in tears and we were laughing, and then we would be in tears and we would be laughing. And he spoke about, hiking to Machu Picchu and rollerblading and golfing and all of these crazy things that he does with two prosthetics. And I said, this is my guy. This is my base camp guy. And I want him to be such an integral part of the DNA of base camp and Sweda. Jim Hagan is a big proponent of good and sees the good in everyone and the good that Dan was doing with warriors. And so Dan, we're celebrating our 4 years together. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have gone to Dan and the Warrior Spirit Retreat, and I've seen the good that he did. I was most fortunate to see a retreat at the Hotel Del Coronado with Dan, and it was soul and changing and gut wrenching for me to watch it. And I saw families sitting on the sidelines watching their warrior take his classes and listen to his calm voice to pull some of that ugliness away from them that they see every day. And his results are extraordinary. And so that this human being has been not only soul filling for us at Sweda. The entire building knows Dan, knows the base camp initiatives that we have with Warrior Spirit Retreat and what Dan does, and we're all 100% behind it. So this year, Dan talked to me and he said, listen, we've had so much interest in what we're doing in the give back of base camp in the retail world with the biggest retailers in the country and coming to us. And so Dan and I were sitting together and we said, how are we going to do this? Because Warrior Spirit Retreat is not big enough for this big deal.
And it shouldn't be. And that's what I love. Like
The beauty of it.
Yeah, the Warrior Spirit Retreat is so intimate, and that's all it's ever going to be, because it's a real place, a real opportunity for a small group of warriors to come together and heal. So I'll serve.
It needs to be intimate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I serve like a max of 500 warriors a year.
Sure.
I'm looking at, so part of my DNA is Wounded Warrior Project. They met me at my hospital bedside the day I got to Walter Reed with a backpack and a promise. A backpack that somebody in this industry made.
Sure, yeah.
Right, with a logo of one warrior carrying another on it. And it changed my life. And that backpack became sort of like my man purse that I carted around.
Sure.
Like everything I needed was inside. And it was a backpack and a promise that whatever I needed or whatever my family needed, they would be there. And so it's because of that organization that gave me not the credibility, but just gave me the impetus. Like, it gave me something. It gave me the confidence to know that I could do something.
Correct. Yep.
Right?
Yep. Inspired you to try.
It totally inspired me to try and to know that the whole time they had my back.
Right.
And so now I'm looking at the success of Base Camp, and I said, listen, I'm not the right partner for
this big
initiative.
Deal.
Because you look at, I'll serve maybe 500 warriors a year. Wounded Warrior Project will serve 170,000 warriors and their families every day.
Amazing.
In
every day.
Every state and U.S. territory, there's something happening. So no matter where you're selling promotional products, if you want to make an impact locally, it's Wounded Warrior Project. And as a result of that, Wounded Warrior Project has my back in helping Warrior Spirit Retreat continue to grow and flourish.
Fantastic.
And so that is the win-win-win all around.
Fantastic. So Kelly, just for clarification, in case there are people who are participating with us who aren't familiar with what Base Camp is. So let's talk a little bit about what that is.
Base Camp is an adventurer. The Base Camp is an adventure line from the gentleman that is walking New York City and going to work in an office to the guy that is the adventurer in the outdoors, and he's having a camp up in Tahoe in the snow, and he is an outdoorsman, as well as the guy that is in the boardroom. So we created this adventure because we think there are city adventurers, there are rural adventurers, and then there's the true guy that's just leaving society and going up in the woods and staying with his backpack, with his knives, his multi-tools from Base Camp. Base Camp grew from 2 backpacks. This was the brainchild of Jim Hagan. He just said, I want a brand. I think we can do it. Let's start with 2 backpacks. Those 2 backpacks are still our number 1 and number 2 best sellers. And we just exploded the brand. The brand is up 84%. The drinkware from the brand is up 187%. And it's not because we're curing a disease out there and it's so different from everything else that we might see, although there is some killer properties and beautiful products, but it's because there's a purpose behind the product.
Sure.
And that purpose is now Wounded Warrior Project and what we can do and how we can touch these warriors. And there's a reason to be behind the brand and understand the brand and live bold and live Base Camp. And that's what Dan does for us. He's not leaving us. No. He is no longer our Base Camp spokesperson for the Warrior Spirit Retreat. He is our Wounded Warrior Project spokesperson. And it's Dan's doing that we've become this partner. And literally in every state, we are registered as a corporation working with a nonprofit.
That's
and
so
it's
awesome.
all going to be, all the attorney generals are going to audit us and all that kind of good stuff.
But
And
you're up for it. You're in
that's
for it.
all good.
Exactly.
We are committing at a minimum next year of 100,000, a minimum of
Right.
100,000. And with all of these retail initiatives that we've come across our desk, we did not go searching for this. I mean, I spent 25 years selling department stores and mass market. I did not want to go back into that world, but it's very easy when they come calling.
Sure.
And he helped us to find a way to be able to serve that market. So we're going to give another 2% of all wholesale sales of retail
nice.
to Wounded Warrior Project. And, that's bigger than what we'd ever imagined. And then Dan always has his back pocket of $50,000 worth
Product.
of product
Yeah.
that he can seed out there to the world. But now he can seed warriors, many more warriors with
The field has been
backpack
opened.
of life and fun and base camp.
It's so fantastic. There's a song lyric that I'm reminded of. It says, it used to be that sky's the limit, now sky's our point of view.
Nice.
Right? And so it seems very much like through your efforts and what you've been able to accomplish over the last 4 years that you've now given yourself the opportunity to sort of see that next level of what you're capable of accomplishing. And this announcement really, I think, in a long ways goes that first step towards achieving the sky being the point of view as it is. So,
100%. And you know what, Dan, also, he has spoken through the industry. So the industry, he's a celebrity. When they come to our booth, they want pictures, they want autographs. He has spoken at many of the distributors in the business and their big national sales meetings. So it's part of their world now too. They know Dan, they know Basecamp.
Right.
When customers are coming into our booth, they're going, "Oh yeah, I know Basecamp. I want to be a part of it. What do I need? Where's that guy? Oh, there he is." And it's amazing. And we were walking here saying, "You're kind of you're the stud, man.
You're kind of somebody now, man."
I'm like,
And they're
"No,
like,
please."
Dan, it's crazy.
Well, the example that I think I might want to draw for the person who might be watching this is the notion of if you're making a buying decision about product and there's a nonprofit opportunity attached to it, one of the things that you might want to give some consideration to is there ability for there to be someone like Dan who's involved in what's going on actually from the nonprofit itself, that if you were able to give yourself enough lead time and opportunity, perhaps there might be a way to engage members of the nonprofits for which whatever it is you're doing are going to benefit in a way that can bring the nonprofit story closer to your own brand. Absolutely. And I think there's a significant amount of importance to that, so that when that person who's trying to make a buying decision about promotional products, they're doing the same thing we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. They're trying to stand out from the competition.
Right.
And if there's a way for you to be able to tell the story behind why I made the choice to buy a Basecamp product, and oh, by the way, can I clue you in on Dan and his story, because it was because of him that we made this choice to do it. Perhaps that allows that end buyer to stand out from their competition in much the same way, right?
Very much.
And I think all of us in business are trying to search for a leg up and a way to have an advantage over our competition.
Right.
And what Social Good Promotions would like to say is that purpose is the way to do that. And that these are the examples of when it's done to the best of its ability. Wounded Warrior Project suddenly is helping 170,000 people a day across the United States.
Exactly.
And the two of you are at least somewhat responsible for whatever that sum total of giving is going to be. And it's a result of our collaborative efforts. And the people who may be watching and listening to this to say, like, that's something I would want to be a part of. That's something I would want my brand to be associated with. And I also want to be able to tell the story so that when I put my logo on a Basecamp product, it's not just, oh, that's my logo on a Basecamp product.
Right.
It's our logo's there for a reason because we believed in what was going to happen.
Exactly.
And Jim has always said to us, since this is my 10th year at Sweda, when we do good, we need to do good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're doing good.
Exactly. And that's something that it stands out to me because, one, like you said, to get a leg up over the competition, and a guy with no legs, it's weird for me to say. No, but it's winning and nobody loses.
Right.
Right? Everyone wins. And when Sweda came to me, like let's do this, it was with the purest intent. And that's That's rare
Right.
in the industry. A lot of people approach things like, well, how can I use this to
Correct.
win? And they came to me with, I want to help you because I believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then that is what made me say 100%. I'm
Yeah.
in it. And it's just as much a commitment for me to Sweda and the Basecamp as a brand as it is to them and Warrior Spirit Retreat and now Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah.
And it's and this is the thing that the definition of being of service is giving without expecting
Any expectation.
anything in return.
Yeah.
And then that is what Sweda has done. And 2% of sales is double what most organizations do, if not quadruple.
Indeed.
Right. And
Yes.
so that is just a powerful testimony to
Yeah.
their commitment to doing the right thing, just like Jim says.
Yeah. So if I had the good fortune to have invited someone who is going to write me a purchase order, come sit with the three of us and have a discussion about, okay, we've already chosen Roger. We know we're going to do business with him. Now it's what are we going to buy? And there's things that they could buy that potentially have a give back attached to them, and there are things that maybe don't.
Right.
What would you want to say to that buyer when it comes to making that choice?
I would say, look, consider Basecamp. It's not only fabulous product and durable and with one of the most differentiating factors in the industry with the imprinting capabilities of the drinkware, but it is product with a purpose. And there is a feel good at the end of the road, at the end of the giving and the opening of the box that has your logo on it or your corporate logo on it. There's a feel good. And if you don't feel good, you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I agree. What say you, sir?
You know, I say that for me, this is giving back to the community that gives for us every single day.
Right.
You know, our war fighters fighting an incredible fight and then dealing with a lot of things that no human being should have to experience or live and go through, and do it voluntarily. And they come back and they need some purpose, motivation, and direction. And Wounded Warrior Project is right there with them every step of the way. And it's so amazing to know that when you just put your logo on something you're going to do anyway, on a product, which, by the way, when I entered this space, I didn't know the size and scope of what promotional product industry was. And to see this top quality, you know, things, you know, like at all different price points, that's something I'm proud to carry around and say that I'm associated with.
Yeah.
And that when they do that same thing, they put their logo on that, is that they're changing and saving lives every day.
That's right. That's right. I can't put it any better than that. My face is hurting from smiling listening to the two of you. So I just wanted to thank you both for coming in.
welcome.
It's so awesome, and I look forward to seeing what we're able to do together in 2020.
Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Eddie.